Bringing you the very latest from across the nation and around the world. A very good evening. This is your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Kumarini Rajakaruna. As always, let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines tonight.
The US says a resolution against Sri Lanka at the Human Rights Council is still at the discussion stage. A tense situation at the Paliagoda Urban Council over a stock of metal. A principal appointed to the Kurunegala Malayadeva Girls' School through the back door. And the body of a female discovered in a hotel room in Kolkata.
For the stories in detail now, CNN IBN Live reported on the response given by U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs Robert Blake to a question posed via Twitter on a possible resolution against Sri Lanka at the United Nations Human Rights Council sessions in Geneva. According to CNN IBN, Blake had responded to the question over social networking site Twitter, stating that the resolution is under discussion. Blake had also tweeted that it would be a great opportunity for Sri Lanka to describe how it would implement the LLRC's recommendations.
Much attention has been drawn towards the International Criminal Court once again. This was after it was reported that a resolution is being contemplated against Sri Lanka at the 19th session of the UN Human Rights Council. Many have questioned the possibility of a case being filed before the International Criminal Court against Sri Lanka following such a resolution being passed.
On the 17th of July 1998, a historic milestone was achieved when 120 states adopted what is known as the Rome Statute, the legal basis for establishing the permanent International Criminal Court. The International Criminal Court, governed by the Rome Statute, is the first permanent treaty-based International Criminal Court established to help end impunity for the perpetrators of the most serious crimes of concern to the international community. It reached consensus on definitions of genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes. The Rome Statute entered into force on the 1st of July 2002 and 139 countries have ratified the statute to date. The ICC is an independent international entity and is not part of the United Nations system. Its seat is at The Hague in the Netherlands.
The United Nations thereafter prepared a statute for a permanent international criminal tribunal. And the statute is this Rome Statute, which was prepared over years, and 2002 the United Nations General Assembly submitted that for ratification by several parties.
However, recently opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe has been emphasizing that he had not signed the Rome Statute when he served as Prime Minister in 2002.
No war crimes charges can be filed against anyone in Sri Lanka, including the President, in an international court or war tribunal. This is because of the United National Party. War crimes tribunals established under the Rome Statute are only applicable to countries that have ratified it. When I was Prime Minister, I signed and rejected it. We were saved from being strapped to the electric chair. Today we can clearly say that not a single citizen in the country could be taken before an international court because we refuse to sign it. That is why Mahinda Rajapaksa cannot be taken before an international court easily.
දැන් ඒක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම පිළිගත හැකි මතයක් නෙමෙයි. මොකද රෝම් ප්‍රඥප්තියට අද වුණත් අපිට පාස්
That cannot be accepted because even today we can be parties to the Rome Statute. It is the state leader who has the ability to express consensus to an international treaty. It is not the rule of law in the country which is valid but the international law. During this time period, it was the United National Party that had a majority in parliament. The president was from the People's Alliance. There was a struggle to share ministerial posts during this time. Therefore, attention was not drawn towards the matter as to whether the Rome Statute should be signed or not.
ඒ නිසා මේ රෝම ප්‍රඥප්තියට අත්සන් කළ යුතුයිද කියන එක මේ කාලේ අපේ සැලකිල්ලට භාජනය වුණේ නැහැ.
Retired Chief Justice Sarathan Silva pointed out that there is a possibility of cases being filed before the International Criminal Court despite the Rome Statute not being ratified.
One method is that the prosecutor can take some complaint before the tribunal, before the War Crimes Tribunal, the pre-trial chamber, as it were, in respect of a country that has become a state party, ratified the Rome Statute. Another method is where a Security Council passes a resolution that certain matters should be investigated and tried before the pre-trial chamber. The third thing is what is relevant now. That is under Article 15 of the Rome Statute, which says that the prosecutor, on his own, information received by him of crimes within the jurisdiction of the court, to initiate an investigation and thereafter place it before the pre-trial chamber.
Is there any possibility of filing a case before the International Criminal Court against Sri Lanka following a resolution at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva?
Similar to the United States, our country has an equal place in the Human Rights Council. The United States does not have more power just because it is a powerful nation.
News First inquired from senior lawyer Sir Gunasekara about the possibility of a citizen of this country being taken before the International Criminal Court as it had not signed the Rome Statute.
ICC නැත්නම් අන්තර්ජාතික අපරාධ අධිකරණයේ
It is very clear that there is no possibility cases can be filed before the International Criminal Court or the ICC concerning countries that have ratified the Rome Statute. We have not signed that statute. It is the state leader who has a right to ratify this. He has not ratified it. Even though Wickremesinghe wanted to ratify it, he could not do so. He was just the Prime Minister. As the Prime Minister, he was not even the leader of the government, because according to our constitution, it is the head of state who is considered as the leader of the government. Wickremesinghe has no right to sign it. He is just making statements. It was Chandrika who had the right to ratify it and not him. We have not ratified it.
Demonstrations were held today as well to protest against a probable draft resolution on Sri Lanka at the 19th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council, currently underway in Geneva, Switzerland.
This demonstration took place this morning opposite the Kandy District Secretariat. A group including officials from the District Secretariat participated in this demonstration.
We are not participating in this demonstration representing any political party or organization. We are doing this as state officials concerned about the sovereignty and independence of our nation.
A demonstration took place opposite the Palagala Divisional Secretariat in Kakirava. A group including officials from the Divisional Secretariat and Agrarian Services officials participated in this demonstration. Meanwhile, government councillors in the Tangol Pradeshi Sabha arrived for today's council meeting wearing black bands to protest against a resolution on Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council session in Geneva.
UNP parliamentarian Mangala Samaravira expressed views on the statement made by the chief prelates about a resolution that is expected to be presented by the United States against Sri Lanka at the Human Rights Council in Geneva.
I would like to inquire from the most venerable chief prelates whether they have seen this resolution for them to make such a statement. Have they read it? Where in this resolution is there anything stated against the government, the country and its sovereignty? There is nothing like that. What is stated is for the government to implement the recommendations of the committee that was appointed by none other than the government. By April, May and June, there will be a period where people cannot live due to the high cost of living, increasing inflation and depreciation of the rupee. The government is not ready to cut the money that is being spent on the motorcades of ministers by even a cent. However, they ask the public to tighten their belts. The government is continuing to implement its agenda without any consideration for the public.
Tamil National Alliance parliamentarian Suresh Premachandra has expressed his displeasure at the decision taken by the TNA not to participate in the 19th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, Switzerland. Premachandra alleges that the decision was taken solely by parliamentarian S.R. Sambandhan and M.A. Sumandiran. Parliamentarian Suresh Premachandra expressed his displeasure while making a special statement to the BBC Tamil service. Premachandra is of the view that many in his party believe that the Tamil National Alliance should have participated at the 19th session of the Human Rights Council. Premachandra charges that the decision taken by R. Sambandhan and M.A. Sumandiran contradicts the stance held by many in the party.
The leading commercial and specialized banks in Sri Lanka say that they are highly disturbed by the attempts being made by some countries to pass a resolution against Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council and interfere with the progress that has been and is being made by the government of Sri Lanka in achieving ethnic harmony and reconciliation among all communities. A joint statement issued on behalf of the leading banks in Sri Lanka by the Sri Lanka Banks Association points out that such interference would bring in new tensions and disrupt the process which has already begun. The joint statement went on to say that the far-reaching recommendations of the Lessons Learnt and Reconciliation Commission report, which would be implemented in due course, would help re-establish ethnic harmony and provide equal opportunities to all communities. The statement added that they trust the international community would respect the need for a homegrown solution to ethnic harmony in Sri Lanka, and time and space will be given to implement the recommendations of the LLRC.